And man, is that not a shame? So close, but you gave it away, Minnesota. You should have had that game. You should have won that game. But nope, you let it go. And you know what? It actually reminds me of Indiana's game one, where they had the lead. They pretty much had the game, and it was just turnovers that not only allow the Celtics to, sort of stay in the game, but also cost them the game. Um, Edwards had like pretty much two that I think could have been at a time to at least get a decent shot because I was like they wasn't really shooting it well, but they just let them stick around so much, not just at the end, but during the whole game. Um, this this was really a defensive and the ref letting them play game. I was like the defense for both teams because I was like it would allow Dallas to get back in it. It allowed Minnesota to stay up for so long. And the transitional baskets is also how Dallas was able to get in there, along with them really playing the game of the mismatch roles. Um, yeah, and I was like, except for except for Luka, nobody was really giving them much. I was like, their wing players. Kyrie was struggling. I was like, the big men were doing a good job, especially down towards the end of the game. But their big men were doing pretty good, and Jaden Hardy gave them a lot of quality minutes and points. So does Josh Green, but I was like he's always pretty active. But Hardy just getting that amount of points, almost like how like kids sort of said that Josh Green getting points is extra for them. I think double so for Hardy because he's giving them another ball handler. He's able to let Luka or Kyrie rest. He's more of an offensive threat than Exum because Exum can do a little bit of point stuff, and he's much more of a defender. But Hardy is able to give them. He's able to score. He's a lot more off the bounce. I was like, I already said shooting off the bounce, but I was like, but he's active, so it's like he's not the same defensive player as Exum. Um, but I was like, I think he actually played better with them because I feel like he's a lot more athletic. Um, Gafford and Lively, especially Lively, he was all over the place. Uh, I was like Gafford too, but I was like Lively. I was like he's all up more so on the perimeter. Where Gafford was just making sure that nobody was getting nothing in the paint. PJ was not having he wasn't having a really good game, especially offensively. I thought defensively he was all right, just because I was like he is the one that's pretty much on Carl, and he's able to switch, and you're not losing too much on defense, even though like he's a shorter guy, but you wouldn't be able to tell that from the way he's able to stop him. Goldberg I was like, let's be honest, the Mavericks stars showed up because like it took a while, but Kyrie was going at the end of the game a lot. I was like he was a lot more aggressive, and I think that was what they needed. Like as soon as he was able to wake up, you felt like it was about to be it could be a wrap just because on the other side Minnesota's squad didn't show up at all. If it wasn't for Nas Reed, I don't like like the box score is not going to really show that. If it wasn't for Nas Reed, I don't know where they was going to what they were going to do. Like no, Conley gave them a lot of quality minutes, got and some points, and that was really about it. Like you wasn't really getting anything out of McDaniels. Carl was like foul. They wasn't even playing him really toward like spots in the fourth quarter. He would just he was just missing buckets, and it's like that's the part that's crazy about that is like I said he getting defended by PJ Washington. He got like 4 or 5 inches on that guy, and he couldn't, and there was time where he was trying to back him down, but he couldn't. Uh, and did not play a good game at all. I was like, I thought he was going to get it a little bit going. It seemed like he sort of did in the third quarter. But and the thing is like it's not for lack of trying because he putting his head down, he's going to the basket and stuff like that. But I think also the way that the game's being ref, where it's like yes, put the pressure on the referees to make that call, but they're not giving anyone that call. So it's like it's crazy because like him going to the basket, which is what you're supposed to do, but when his shot's not falling, he's not getting really like the call that you would expect like in like other games, you know, because this could have been like one of those Wade games, you know, like the Wayne Wade when he would just go to the foul three throw line a lot. That's how Edwards was playing, but he wasn't getting any of that in his shot. His I felt like he was also really flustered in a similar way that Denver was doing him, except for I was like they would sort of they would throw a double team, but then they seem like they would bail out really quickly. Where it's like he's like, oh, double team coming, and then it's like it's not there, and now it's like, oh, oh damn turnover. Like and the way that see like they're trying to do that same thing with like Luka and stuff like that, and it was working in the first half, but then after that he started manipulating the hell out of them because he would get them all in mismatch with the pick and roll up at the top, but and then it's like okay, and he's just started baiting it where it's like, oh, you thought I was gonna shoot, guess what? Pass, dunk. They were just getting everything at the basket. Like there was nothing they couldn't be stopped. Either a lob to the big man or they was getting their jump shots. And I was like, it was the thing is you Mavericks were being carried by Luka and Minnesota was being carried by Naz Reid. The sort of problem with that is that their superstars are the one getting in rhythm, while on the other side, your six man is carrying you while all of y'all are struggling. And good thing they play defense because that would have kept them up for so long. The problem is, so does Dallas. So for Dallas, got two dudes who basically has showed up in these games. And yes, they might not have been at the same time, but you don't need to when you got two guys like that could just like once they get rolling, it's a wrap. Um, I like I said before, I was like I thought one of the things was gonna be 3-point shooting was still had I was like was still hadn't been there, but the thing is that Luka and Kyrie Green, I was like you had Hardy tonight was over here making threes, while on the other side you really had Naz Reid just going crazy, and that's really about it. On a 3-point shot because you didn't get nothing really out of Alexander Walker, McDaniels, like I said. So Kyle Anderson, I was like he didn't really have to. I was like he didn't really have too much in the second half as much as he did in the first half. But I was like he's been the only other. I was like, but he's shown up a bit as after especially struggling in the last series. But yeah, no, I was like the Mavericks big men had pretty much been able to outduel the big men uh, of Minnesota, and that's where I feel like the game has really came down to because like all that, not just that, but also the Mavericks getting a lot of offensive rebound tip backs, was creating open looks and stuff like that. Because the thing is, even if you're missing them, with those tip backs, you're going like now you get another shot, and now you might be open or you're on somebody else. Now the defense is scattered. I was like Minnesota wasn't getting a lot of those 50-50 balls either, so you just seen down in the end like they just couldn't. I was like they wasn't doing what sort of got them there, and they wasn't able to sustain the offense that Luka was pretty much putting on him. I was like, and at the end of the game, he pretty much had Rudy Gobert where he wanted him. Rudy Gobert looked like water in a bag. He was just all over the place on an uneven table. He just moving. Can't be held down. Can't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. I don't know if you do that anymore. But anyway, yeah. I was like, I don't really count nobody out until the third game because I'm like, if Minnesota wins, then hey, then of course they still got a shot, the mathematics, and of course if Dallas wins three, then it's pretty much smooth sailing for them at the same time. Which I mean, just like the Celtics and like them trying to end it over there with Indiana, so that they can have some rest. Dallas needs to do the same thing too, so they can get Luka at least some rest up until then. But yeah, no, this wasn't this was really more of just a tough, grinded game than a high prolific one until like pretty much the last like set of minutes or whatever. And also Minnesota, you should have been up by 20 at halftime, and I think after that, that sort of told you what kind of game it was. Cause it's like then like they started trading baskets, but then Dallas started trading more baskets than Minnesota was trading back. I know that sounds confusing, but basically Dallas for like every 3 shots, Minnesota was getting one, and they just caught up to them eventually. But yeah, I was like, there was a lot of things that Minnesota gonna look back on because they should have had this game just as much than any. But anyway, we'll see how the game goes on Sunday. Yes. Until then, I'm out.